Alright, and I think we should be live. Alright, for 8 seconds now. The idea is that today is a special day. Well, every day is a special day for me, but this one is more special because I'm gonna go through some of the community posts which I made in the past few weeks. The idea is that I should go through these weekly, but last week we watched the Game Awards, and so that week I didn't do it. So there are a few which are outdated, some community posts which are outdated. For example, this one right here with the Cyberpunk anniversary, because on the 10th of December we had the 5th anniversary of Cyberpunk. So I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about some of the ones which are still relevant now, and of course the ones which were released this week, even though maybe they lost a bit of relevance, but still, this week, kind of relevant. The idea is that I post in this post tab here on YouTube every single day, basically, and every single day I post a community poll. You can answer that poll, you can comment on it, you can also give suggestions, you can argue with me if you want to. Maybe I'm not gonna agree with you in the comment section, but if you have a complaint, I will probably come to the conclusion that yes, you were probably right. If the complaint made sense, for example, let's take the one with Lara Croft. Let me find it. It's gonna take just a bit. Right, this one, for example. Have you played any Tomb Raider? Yes, the old ones, yes, the new ones. No, other answer. I have seen a lot of people saying that I should have added a both answer. An answer that would be for the people who played the old ones and the new ones. After thinking about it, yes, people were right. Even if I complained, even if I maybe argued with some people in the comment section, ultimately they were right. I should have added a both answer. In the past I did that, so I should have added it here. I thought that most people would answer these ones, and then other answer would be in the minority, and it can also include anything else I did not consider. However, I have seen a lot of comments. Let me actually go through some of them. Both. Yeah, at least a few people. I played both. Let me load more answers. Okay. 21 comments that said that they played both, I think, or they said something with both. A few of them probably complained that I did not add no both options. Yeah. Where is both? You forgot that I played both old and new options. Okay. Both. Should have put both. What did I answer here? Next time. Okay. So next time I'm gonna do it. Actually, I did it in the past. But either way, I'm moving on from this one. Pretty cool poll either way. It's not that big of a deal, but it's a poll I made after the announcement that Tomb Raider will be part of the Game Awards. This one is outdated in the sense that they released a new version for Switch 2. Yes, Skyrim is now on Switch 2, so I'm gonna have to remake this and also add the actual dates because I did not add them for some reason. I forgot. Anyway, I think there was, yeah, I pinned the comment. There ain't a single date in that image. The response, I put the dates in the response. Maybe I should move the camera from. Okay, maybe I should do that. Can I flip that camera? Blending, scale, transform, flip. Aha! So that camera is flipped. It's fine. All right, so kind of is annoying. Not gonna lie. I'm just gonna make the camera smaller. Okay, so people can see the text, everything. So I answered with the, of course, the release dates, but now I have to add another one for Switch 2 because Skyrim was also released on Switch 2. Alright. And something I did not post is that Ted Howard mentioned how Elder Scrolls 6 is progressing further nicely. I mean, the development. But based on his words, I don't think we'll see it in a while. Now, this is probably the biggest news outside of merch, which was released in relation to Cyberpunk in the past, let's say, 10 days. Are you interested in the upcoming Cyberpunk TCG? That's a trading card game. Honestly, I was surprised by the amount of people who did not know what a TCG is. Not in this comment section, but I posted on TikTok before, and people were asking, what is TCG? Some of them were even thinking that it's gonna be an animated show because, of course, I posted this image of Corpo V, and that is a very good looking image, and it sort of probably reminded people of Edge Runners. It definitely reminds me of Edge Runners. But yeah, most people do not care about the TCG. They are not interested. It's 56%. Let's see the comments actually. Link to the trailer, link to the website, very good comment up top. Obviously, the person who made it is a very smart individual. Thank you very much. I'm not interested in playing TCG, but I'll definitely collect all the cards, just like collecting Pokemon cards. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same thing. For example, Riot Games released a very popular card game called Riftbound. I bought myself a pack, but I don't think I'm gonna play it other than collecting the cards. But we'll see. We'll see if they can get some groups going here where I live. I've seen a lot of groups happening here in Romania. Apparently, card games are very popular, so we'll see what's gonna happen. I doubt that the card game released by whoever works in partnership with CDPR, Weirdco, I doubt that it's going to be as popular as Riftbound because they are releasing it together with still Kickstarter. It's gonna be on Kickstarter, so I doubt it's gonna be that popular. If it existed, you just know scalpers would take every card back. Yeah, if it was popular enough. I hadn't even heard about it. Only thing that could be more up my alley is if they made a Cyberpunk 77 fighting game. Yeah. At this point, I'd love to hear more about Cyberpunk Orion. Besides the only info we know about Cyberpunk Orion is that it's in pre-production, and they named it Cyberpunk 2. And of course, we know that they plan to have over 300 people working on Cyberpunk 2 by 2027. That's basically what was revealed in the last investors call. Other than that, we don't know much. Most of the studio is focused on Witcher 4. As I see it, they are building two teams, one for Witcher, the saga, 4, 5, and 6, and another team for Cyberpunk. So they can work on two franchises at the same time. Alright. Gwent 2077. Didn't you want to say Gwent? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Unless the rules are completely different, you know? I'm playing? No. Collecting? Yes. Will I play? Probably not. But the art could be interesting. Yeah, from what I've seen, the art is pretty cool. I made a video about this. I made a video about the art in this game. Let me check. Videos. The Project Red, the fifth, I think I did. Huh. I think I talked about it here briefly. Interesting. I thought I posted the video. Anyway. Maybe I posted the short. Aha, I posted the short. Yeah. This is it. The Cyberpunk TCG. I posted the short some time ago. Alright. Back to it then. Back to it. So 35,000 votes on that one. So thank you to everyone who voted. Apparently, yeah, most people don't really care. As I said, Cyberpunk Anniversary, that was 10 days ago. Now this one, this is the biggest poll I've ever made, considering the amount of votes. Over 100,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted, by the way. When given the choice, what option do you choose to play as? Any game. Not only the ones you see there given as an option, but from what I have seen, these are some of the more popular ones. Female character, male character, I play both. That means playing on one playthrough with male character, another playthrough with female character, or switching from one playthrough to the other one. I have seen people who are confused about that, and they even compared I play both with depends. Depends means I consider the voice acting, the gameplay benefits if there are any, and customization options probably. Those are the things which would make you think about voting depends, right? So yeah, apparently most people choose male character. Then the second most voted answer is I play both. Then, of course, as you can see, female character. I was a bit surprised because I thought female character would win. And I'm saying that mostly based on my perception of the community, or the gaming community in general, from a few years ago, honestly. A few years ago, it felt like everyone was playing female V, for example. I've seen people saying that female Shepard is a better voice actor. I've seen people saying that they like customizing their character and they like customizing a nice looking character, not necessarily a male one. And those are some arguments I have seen a lot on social media, so I thought that most people would be choosing to play as a female character. Apparently that's not the case. I do not personally have a preference. I play both if the game gives me an option. But yeah, let's see the comments, of course. The comments are bound to be interesting. I always try to make my character look wow, I cannot speak. I always just try to make my character look like me, to varying degrees of success. I've never tried that. I mean, that's something I've seen. Wow, actually, this reminds me of a Reddit post which was wildly popular. Of this one, I think she was a Korean girl. Doesn't matter. The idea is that she made herself in this hyper detailed character creation, and then she put that face on her own face and it matched perfectly. That was crazy to me, by the way. That is absolute insanity. So yeah, some people do spend a lot of time in the creator to make themselves. Man, maybe I just want to look pretty. Yeah, exactly what I was speaking about earlier. Depends on the voice actor if they are voiced. Yeah, this is a huge debate. A huge debate. Who's the better voice actor? And I know that because, well, at least in the case of Cyberpunk, I made a bunch of videos where I basically compared the voice acting. I did not have any opinion on any of that, but I have seen a lot of comments from people saying that either V, male V, or female V is better. So yeah, there is a debate. I like both. Both give V a different feel. 3 times as male V, once female V. I do whatever fits my headcanon, which is usually a male, but sometimes a female makes more sense for the story or companions in the game. Whichever one gets me the best romance options. Yeah? Both. I approach those kinds of RPGs by mentally sketching out a character in my head, loosely, and playing based on that imagined character's personality. I've always found that female characters are just easier to customize. I don't know, there's just more options most times. So having more options, doesn't that make it harder? Well, that would make it harder. I have a hard time customizing my character in World of Warcraft Classic, and that doesn't give you as many options as some other games, you know? I choose male because I think badass voice lines just fit very well with male V. In cyberpunk sci-fi stories, I always pick a girl. Fantasy medieval stuff, I pick a guy. I am a woman and I like being a woman. That makes sense. I love role playing, so whatever I'm role playing is what I'm going for. Interesting. Usually the female characters always have the most customiz customizability? Customization, no? That's the word you're looking for. So I always go with them. Depends on voice, story, romance. Sometimes I just like hearing a woman's voice more or want to RP a gruff badass. Interesting. Wow. Bunch of opinions. Depends on things like fashion, character creator, romance options, voice actors, and other stuff. I've done exactly 2 playthroughs, one as each. Whatever looks better with the customization options. Far Cry 6 I did female, Cyberpunk both, but mainly male, Mass Effect both. Alright, so there you have it. Most people pick male whenever they are playing a character in games. I was a bit surprised, but not terribly surprised. Still, again, thank you to everyone who voted on this poll, and let's move on to the next one. This is a rating for the Game Awards, and honestly, this one is a bit interesting because, and I'm still talking about this even though the Game Awards already happened a while ago, because Jeff Keighley, let me check, Jeff Keighley, Game Awards. He made the poll himself. And this is something I wanted to do. If the poll is still available, I don't know. Jeff Keighley. Poll. I don't see a poll. December 14. Let me search in the search tab. Paul Game Awards. Maybe he deleted it or something, I don't know. Maybe the post was deleted. The idea is that on his rating, he had, I think, A, B, C, and D, I believe. And most people voted D. Now here, the answers are different. 7, 8 would probably be a B, right? 9, 10 an A, 5 and 6 a C, and 1, 4 a D or lower. The idea is that I think the communities are just different. That's why here most people voted a 7 or 8 out of 10. From what I have seen, there are a lot of people who only use YouTube, they do not use other social media. So they are not into checking what everyone else thinks. They only see YouTube. So an interesting parallel, I would say. In this case, most people are voting 7 or 8 out of 10. What were the comments here? Let me read a couple. I can only add 4 answers. I don't know, might as well. I didn't watch option. Okay, so that was the comment for I didn't watch. KCD2 and Dispatch deserved something. KCD2 not getting anything is infuriating. Concord 2 being announced at the end pissed me. I'm not gonna say that. Pissed me off. Yeah, that's Highguard, by the way. The name of the game. Honestly, it kinda reminded me of Concord. Not as much, but I guess we'll have to wait and see because the game releases in January and I'm gonna play it. Or the plan is to play it. But we'll see. I'm so sad KCD2 didn't win anything. That team poured their heart and soul into it. We simply just had too many good games this year. Yeah, loved it, but KCD2 deserved something. Actually, that's a very good point. I have a poll about that. Oh, by the way, 2 Star Wars games were announced. Fate of the Old Republic and Galactic Racer. Honestly, I'm very excited about all of that. Because I'm a Star Wars guy. Can I even say that without playing most of the games? I played a few Star Wars games, but maybe not enough to call myself a Star Wars guy. I'm not gonna say that. I still love Star Wars though. I watched most of the shows, or all of them. Yeah, I did watch all of them. Almost all of them. I cannot say I watched those cartoons, and I did not watch Star Wars Visions, you know? Those are the ones I did not watch. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. The guy who made who was involved with Mass Effect and KOTOR works on Star Wars: The Old Republic, or The Fate of the Old Republic. Tomb Raider, 2 of them announced at the Game Awards. I mean, I have said it before. Maybe people are going to disagree with me, call me out, or say something else, I don't know. But this image right here reminds me of what's her name from Stranger Things? I mean, she even changed her name from what I remember. I saw an article or something like that. Millie Bobby Brown, I think that's her name. She changed her name. So yeah, that's why I was thinking about using the new name, but I don't know it. So yeah, this reminds me of her. This reminds me of her. This face. Maybe I'm the only one, but actually no, I'm not. I have seen a few comments saying the same thing. This one is gonna be the remake. Legacy of Atlantis. I have seen a lot of debate online about the way she looks. I've got no opinion about that. Personally, I think I prefer the 2013 or Rise of the Tomb Raider version a bit more. She gives me the idea that she's a Tomb Raider survivor kind of stuff, more so in those games as compared to when I'm looking at this model, you know? But that's probably only me, and that's fine. I mean, it's not because I've seen the debates. Either way, Half-Life 3, guys, this is the biggest news of the day, by the way. Very important news. Do not mind that. Half-Life 3 was not announced at the Game Awards. Yeah, I know. All of these rumors, starting basically out of nothing, a guy who previously made some, let's say, accurate predictions, made another prediction, and now suddenly everyone started talking about it, I think. Maybe that's how it started, maybe I'm wrong. The idea is that I doubt that Valve will ever work on this. Maybe there are rumors saying that they do work on it. I'm not gonna say that there are or there aren't until I see an official announcement. Larian. Divinity, that was a hardcore trailer, not gonna lie. I've seen this one, which I liked a lot. 3 RPG directors in one picture. Even though I've seen a lot of people clowning on Todd Howard, I cannot do that. He did his job for a decade. He was, let's say, legendary in that time. Not so much in recent years, but I would say he still deserves to be in an image like this. Why not? I mean, deserves, that's a bad word in this case. He shouldn't be clowned on. That's what I want to say. He shouldn't be clowned on, I think. But people can do whatever they like. Yeah. And I have seen a lot of complaints, or not that many. These are complaints which I'm not gonna listen to, by the way, because I added this here. They are now the game directors of KCD. Todd Howard was the game director of Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield. Sebastian Kalemba, the director of Witcher 4. And they previously worked on other projects in different roles. And of course, besides the RPGs they worked on, I also added stuff they worked previously on. For example, Daniel Vavra worked on Mafia, and Todd Howard worked on Indiana Jones. That's basically it. Alright. What is the best RPG series? Of course, I referenced the previous post. The Elder Scrolls, Kingdom Come Deliverance, or The Witcher. None of these. We also have that answer, but the majority of people voted one of the answers right here, which is pretty cool. Alright, so let's see some of the comments. Not a series yet, but I have never felt more immersed than when I was playing Cyberpunk. This is another thing I've seen in the comment section, people saying that Cyberpunk is a series. That's not the case yet. Mass Effect. Cyberpunk when Cyberpunk 2 comes out. How do you misspell Mass Effect? It's not that hard. You have the none of these answer. Even that is in the minority. Well, not really, we have this one, but considering how most people voted one of the other answers, yeah, you're in the minority. KCD deserves more love. Fallout. Cyberpunk, yeah, that's series, not one game, bro. There is no such thing as best RPG. All of these are extremely good. Do you agree with that? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. There is a definitive best experience. Absolutely, there should be. I mean, you should. Not every game should be put on the same scale. Some of the games present on this list, or other ones, or other games, RPGs, are above everything else. So of course, those games should be recognized, in my opinion. Absolutely. It's when you are saying that all of these are amazing, it's similar to whenever you are participating in a, let's say, competition with other people and everyone gets an award. Everyone is amazing, guys. Good job. You took part in the competition. But everyone gets an award. No, no. You give awards the ones who deserve the awards. The ones who pushed, until the end and were the best in what they did. For example, in running, the first 3 places, give them the medals. The same can happen in gaming. The best games get the awards, while the other ones, well, they do not get them, even though the games may be very good. Game director. Okay, so apparently, based on what game director Casey Hudson said, Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic is coming before 2030. This is what he had to say. Don't worry about the not till 2030 rumors. Game will be out before then. I'm not getting any younger. Yeah, that makes sense. It is gonna be released on the 31st of December in 2029, I guess. Now 5 days ago, I saw people sort of debating the best RPG award at the Game Awards. And it was between Expedition 33 and KCD2. I do not have an opinion on this, but I wanted to make a poll because it was a lot of people debating this. I put other game as well, but that's in the minority. Maybe I shouldn't have. But let's see the comments. I'm a diehard Expedition 33 enjoyer, but specifically for RPG, KSD2 absolutely should have taken it. Game of the Year, Expedition 33. Best RPG, Kingdom Come. Arthur Morgan. Yep. Well done, Arthur Morgan, for winning the best RPG. Couldn't care less about Expedition 33 winning everything else, but I was praying for KCD2 to at least walk away with best RPG. I wish more people gave that game a shot. It really deserved an award. Or that award. KCD2 is without a doubt a better RPG. Cyberpunk. Because that's the only game I played. That's the correct answer, man. Well done. KCD is definitely the better RPG. You don't really roleplay too much in Expedition 33. And then we have a massive edit there, which I'm not gonna read. Most people are saying that KCD2 should have won. I haven't even heard of either. My man. That's the correct answer, right? With how hyped Silksong was, I'm surprised it didn't win. The best RPG? Nah. Even I know that's not gonna happen. Oh, this is a comment supporting Expedition 33, I think? I know. I don't know why people are acting like Expedition 33 being the better game means it is the better RPG. Better game doesn't equal better RPG. If the other games has better RPG mechanics, which would objectively make it the better RPG, this was for the best RPG, not for GOTY. Yeah, so if it has better RPG mechanics, then it's a better RPG, no? Makes sense, I guess. By that logic. By the only logic. Cyberpunk, wow. GOTY, Expedition 33. Best RPG. I've only played KCD 1 so far, but if KCD 2 is like 1, but better, then KCD 2. Okay. Ooh, a massive comment here. A massive comment from True Goose. Are you true because you're a goose, or are you a goose because you are true? That is the question. Expedition 33 is a JRPG, and KC2 is a Western style RPG. These are very different subgenres that try to hit at very different things. JRPGs try to have you roleplay as a defined character and are very character and story driven. Western RPGs are very player driven and are a lot more like a sandbox with rules. Now, as long as you consider these as both RPGs in the broad sense, then the question is, was Expedition 33 a better JRPG than KCD2 was a Western RPG? I would argue that Expedition 33 is probably the best JRPG in the last 10 years, so it makes sense it won. However, I don't think JRPGs and Western RPGs should be competing against each other for the same reward, because they are fundamentally trying to do very different things. Makes sense? Silent Hill F and Ghost of Yotei. Let's see some other comments. Skyrim. Well done, Skyrim. You have a supporter. Good job. Expedition 33 is more of a JRPG, which focuses more on character building rather than choices and consequences in the story, and is a different kind of game to what a lot of people consider an RPG nowadays. To me, character builders should not be considered RPGs. Interesting. And should get their own category for character builder or building/customization. Games like KCD2 and Baldur's Gate 3 add an amazing level of realism, choices, and consequences that Expedition 3 does not provide. You can create insane builds, but none of your choices, if you can call them that, affect the overall game or the world you play in. Whether you choose Verso or whoever that is, ending, the game doesn't change, you still continue playing like normal. Same with Loon, same whoever is that, Romance, doesn't change anything. So in my mind, it isn't an RPG. I'm not choosing my character's role, it's a linear story. Alright? Most fans knew it wasn't winning GOTY, but we thought we had RPG of the year since it's the definitive RPG of the decade. RPG does not mean fantasy game. Is the award supposed to be for the best game that is an RPG, or the game with the best RPG mechanics? Those are two different answers. Yeah. TF2. We have the answer right there. TF2. I love the sound of that. Definitely the one that won. Okay, so it's definitely TF2. As you can see right there. Ooh, we got a story. I had a friend, you had? Who played the entire KCD2 as Drunkard Brawler. I played Henry of Gaslitz and another played Noble Knight. Our expedition builds Jailbait Shadowheart does quadrillion damage, but in different colors. Expedition 33 is just Baldur's Gate 3, but nowhere near as good. Interesting. Very interesting. Ooh, we got a massive review here. Which I am gonna read. Player agency and role definition. But I do not understand half of this. Player Obscure Expedition 33. You control a preset party of expeditioners. There is no choosing your own character, background, or moral alignment. Builds come mainly through equipment and combat loadouts. Characters don't have branching life paths or story outcomes tied to player persona. Limited agency is defining your role. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You play as Henry, a protagonist whose skills, reputation, and standing in the world evolve based on your decisions and playstyle. Dialogue, reputation, skill choices, and actions shape how NPCs and communities respond. Strong player agency in shaping growth and narrative consequences. Winner, KCD2. Progression and builds, or and build type. Depth. Expedition 33 has a turn-based progression system with action points and unlockable passives, via whatever that is, which subtly change combat, feel, and power. Combat outcomes depend on timing, parries, and combination of whatever that is. Builds are present but largely fixed to combat rules, as opposed to narrative or life choices. Moderate progression focused mostly on combat customization. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Deep skill system with combat, social, survival, and lifestyle skills. Skills improve through use, and perks unlock meaningful bonuses you choose over time. You can tailor Henry to be a warrior, diplomat, thief, hunter, craftsman, and other stuff. Broad and impactful progression across multiple playstyles. Winner, KCD2. Choices and consequences. Expedition 33. Narrative is largely linear. Outcomes are story-driven and on rails. Optional side paths are limited. Combat choice is tactical, not story-altering. Limited narrative consequences outside of battle outcomes. KCD2. Player actions can shift how townfolk, factions, and quests unfold. Reputation, crime, speech choices, and combat actions lead to a different interaction and world response. DLC can even provide alternate endings and narrative paths. High player impact on world and story progression. Winner, KCD2. World interaction and exploration. On Expedition 33, has linear levels with side areas, hidden resources, and collectibles. World exploration is nice visually, but not central to freedom or self-directed play. Exploration exists, but is structured and bounded. Kingdom Come Deliverance, open world twice the size of the first game, free exploration with emergent events and NPC interactions or reactions. Multiple ways to approach quests and navigate terrain. Result, expansive world with dynamic player-driven interaction. Winner, KCD2. role-playing beyond combat. On Expedition 33, role-playing leans heavily on combat and narrative storytelling. NPC relationships and choice consequences outside the combat are minimal. Combat-centric experience. KCD2, social systems, reputation crime consequences, NPC interactions, crafting, survival mechanics, and story choices all feed into role-playing. Decisions can lead to fines, changes in reputation, or long-term narrative consequences. Reach role-playing outside of combat. Winner KCD2. There you have it, guys. The definitive review from Curtain Pulled. Do you agree with that? This definitely sounds like KCD is the better RPG. As I see it, based on all of this. I mean, Expedition 33 is very limited in comparison. And I'm saying that after I've read, well, as you can see, this entire review of a bunch of systems. And if I was a role player, I kind of am, I would much rather play the game that is complex, other than compared to the game which is basically linear. Isn't Expedition 33 more of a turn-based JRPG, not an RPG with if that makes sense? Yeah, it is a role-playing game belonging to the subgenre of Japanese role-playing games, whilst KCD2 is a role-playing game belonging to a subgenre of Western role-playing games, not to be mistaken with something like Baldur's Gate 3, which is a role-playing game belonging to a subgenre called computer role-playing games. Despite all three being rather different, they all share one thing in common: role-playing game. As an Expedition 33 Glazer, KCD2 is the better RPG. I mean, KCD2 is better RPG, but I would not say it got robbed, because Expedition 33 is the best game of the year. I mean, if you can say that. Game of the year winners in the past 10 years. Okay, let's look at this. We have Overwatch in 2016, Zelda in 2017, God of War 18, Sekiro in 2019, The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020, It Takes Two in 2021, Elden Ring in 2022, Baldur's Gate 3 in 2023, Astrobot in 2024, and in 2025, Expedition 33. Some of those GOTY are very questionable. I have seen some people questioning Overwatch. Well, I cannot say anything bad about Overwatch. I was there whenever it was released, and the game was absolutely insane. Really good game. I played it a lot, I would say. That's debatable. That's debatable. I played it, and I thought it was very fun. So I think the win was deserved. Overall, I think it was deserved. If Cyberpunk came out as it is now, it would have swept 2020 awards. No contest. Yeah, I think so too. The only... From that year, in 2020, they released Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Cyberpunk is better than both of those. Cyberpunk is actually better than both of those put together, as it is right now. 2018 should have been Red Dead Redemption 2. Ooh, I have seen a lot of debate about that one. I have seen a lot of people debating between God of War and Red Dead Redemption. More so than anything else probably on the list. Besides, let's say, Astrobot. I've seen people debating about that. I even joked about it in the comment section. People took it seriously. I don't really care who won, but I have seen debate about that. Astrobot or Black Myth Wukong, The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, God of War or Red Dead Redemption, Overwatch or Uncharted. Those are the debates I've seen. Realistically, I don't care about any of this, but if we were to be objective, sometimes I think it's better if people do not have all the power to vote, but other times I feel like people are right. So yeah. I do believe that Red Dead Redemption, from what I have seen and played, is better than God of War. Overwatch is definitely, whenever it was released, it was like they caught lightning in a bottle. That's how it felt. Absolutely. The Last of Us, it got a lot of hate online. A lot of hate. Even I probably, from what I remember, even I said a few things about The Last of Us back a few years ago. It was really, really hated. And the game was leaked from what I remember. The game was leaked, or at least the part with Joel was leaked online. People absolutely despised the game. Not so much in recent years, I would say, but that's natural. I think the haters phase out in every fandom. They phase out. Astrobot, I have seen a lot of people saying that Black Myth Wukong should have won. It actually won the player's voice. That's a joke, another joke. The nominations for the player's voice is atrocious, I would say. You cannot allow games from a few years ago to participate. That's the crazy part about the player's voice. This list was fake. Have you played any Star Wars games? Yes. No. No, but I plan to. 37,000 votes, so thank you to everyone who voted. Force Unleashed was my childhood. I had all of those versions for some reason. I mean, that is kinda crazy. Cool. Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, and all of those ones. Then the newer Battlefront games. The Lego games listed were my childhood. I miss playing them on my old PS3. Force Unleashed and KOTOR, my beloved. Knights of the Old Republic, Empire at War, Jedi Academy, Lego Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, Survivor, and Lego Star Wars. OG Battlefront, Rogue Squadron, or Squadron. Just now realizing how many Star Wars games I actually played as a kid. Yeah, after seeing so many people listing a bunch of games, they listed a bunch of games I never heard about, so yeah, that's pretty cool. KOTOR 2, Pod Racer. My first Star Wars game was the arcade game in 1983. That is very cool. 1983. Wow. That's a long time ago. Star Wars Republic Commando, best game. I started playing it, but I never finished it. I think it's pretty good. Especially the intro, you will absolutely love, absolutely. Whereas yes, but I don't plan to in the future. Huh? Why would I say that? Why would I put an option like that? Yeah, I loved playing Star Wars roleplay games on Roblox. I had no idea that was a thing. Never seen a single movie, but I have dedicated time in damn near every game. So I would say the first 6 movies are pretty good. Then you have Han Solo, pretty good. Then the other one, Rogue One, very good. Especially, I would watch Ender before watching Rogue One, because Rogue One is sort of a continuation of Ender. So that's the watching order. I know someone who has played Star Wars games but never seen the movies. Yeah, I know someone like that as well. The previous commenter. I'm like that as well, I think, with some other games. No, with some other TV shows or movies. I think with I responded with the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Have you ever played a game? Ooh, now this one is pretty good. Have you ever played a game just because of the cinematic trailer? I did that. I absolutely played a game only because of the cinematic. For example, Witcher 3. I saw the one cinematic called Killing Monsters, and I thought to myself, oh my god, that is crazy, I want to play this. That's basically how it happened. I don't think I watched any gameplay. No, I did watch another video of someone making a parody video of Witcher. It was a funny parody, not poking fun at the game or something like that, but it was kind of funny. In Romanian, of course, so I'm not gonna be able to really translate. Star Wars, the Old Republic in a nutshell. Yeah, that also applies with me. But I have never played it. So I should play it at one point. I even replied here. Star Wars, the Old Republic has a bunch of trailers which are absolutely amazing. I have yet to see a trailer which is bad from Star Wars, the Old Republic. I thought the trailers were really good, so I wanted to play it, but I never did. I should play it at one point. Assassin's Creed. Yeah, that's another one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Assassin's Creed. I have seen a few trailers, and I wanted to play based on the trailers, not gameplay. Trailers. Cyberpunk 2077 cinematic trailers were insane. Yeah. But I think when it comes to Cyberpunk, I watched the gameplay demo before thinking about buying it. So to me, that doesn't apply. I watched the gameplay demo, I thought it was amazing, and then I pre-ordered Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 had me in less than 1 second when I saw the aesthetic and gameplay. Actually, with Phantom Liberty I was like that. I was watching Phantom Liberty with a couple other guys, and as soon as the trailer ended, I pre-ordered Phantom Liberty. That's basically what I did. Overwatch. That's another one. Overwatch had such good trailers for the characters. I missed them. Yeah, Overwatch. Now that's one I also remember fondly. The first trailer I've seen, I think it's a trailer from 2014 with Tracer and a bunch of other characters. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And most of those trailers are a testament to how good Blizzard was, or still is, at making cinematic trailers. So yeah. Skyrim? Usually I watch the cinematic trailer, then try to find the gameplay trailer. That's how I found out about Helldivers 2. Phantom Liberty, yep. The OG Cyberpunk. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Dead Island. Isn't that the trailer with the guy going for a jog? Transforming into a zombie, I think? I could be wrong. Batman Arkham Origins. The trailer still looks incredible to this day. The fight scene with Deathstroke is legendary. I haven't played any Batman game, to my shame. And honestly, I think I should, because I like Batman. Bioshock. Mirror's Edge. I think that's another one for me, but I've never played it. So. All trailers of StarCraft 2 are insanely good. Yeah, another one by Blizzard. As I said, Blizzard cinematics are very good. Absolutely. Okay, moving on. Are you following the weekly release of Fallout? Episode 1 is on Prime. I watched it. I thought it was pretty good. And honestly, I am very interested to see what's going to happen throughout the season. Episode 1 is sort of a setup for the entire season, so we'll have to wait and see. Pretty good stuff, I would say. I don't know what that is. For people don't know what Fallout is. Makes sense. Makes sense. Some people don't know. I'll wait until all episodes are available on free streaming websites. Ooh. I didn't even know Season 2 came out. Season 1 was pretty good though. Yeah. Honestly? Nah, I was pretty tapped in when it comes to news about Fallout. It wasn't as big as the release of Season 1, probably. I can agree with that. Maybe when the full season is out, hate to always wait a week in between. Yeah, personally I also prefer a full season, but only because I like watching it all in one day. Alright, moving on. Larian confirms the studio is using generative AI. I was a bit surprised by the comment section here. So, this is the response to the backlash. Let's actually go through everything. Larian CEO confirms the studio is using generative AI to explore ideas, flesh out PowerPoint presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text. He says there won't be any AI-generated content in Divinity. Everything is human actors, we are writing everything ourselves. And then the response from Swin Vinky, or Vinicky. We are not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we are hiring more. The art they create is original, and I'm very proud of what they do. I was asked explicitly about concept art and our use of generative AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that. And they are indeed world-class artists. We use AI tools to explore references, just like we use Google and Artbooks. At the very early ideation stages, we use it as a rough outline for composition which we replace with original concept art. There is no comparison. I talked about how we use whatever that is here if you would like to know more. We've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests, but they can experiment with these tools to make their lives easier. I would say the comment section here on YouTube is absolutely different from the one on Twitter. On Twitter, people are generally clowning on him. Not everyone, but a good amount of people are clowning on him for this. But here, as you can see, sounds like they are using AI the right way, as a tool, not an entire workforce. Good on them. I have no issues with developers using AI to quickly generate placeholder art or text so that progress can be made on a game. I'd have a problem if that AI generated stuff made it into the final game. AI being used as a tool to help artists instead of replace them. Am I dreaming? Okay. I was talking to a buddy of mine last night about this, and he said something along the lines of, they are probably just saying they used it to appease shareholders who demanded they used it because of how vague they are with their usage. And I'm inclined to believe it. I've noticed that people don't understand AI still. I feel like it's perfectly fine if left at concept art. Saves time that can later be used on polish and streamlining. AI is a tool, and like all tools, they can't do the job without people. Good on Larian for honesty and understanding the importance of workers. Basically this. Hey AI, what would a horse-dog hybrid from hell look like? Generates image. Artist. Cool. This will be great reference material as I draw my own design. Yep. That's the power of a tool, I guess. Larian has earned the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we have another one. This is perfectly reasonable. As long as there is no generative AI content in the game itself, he says there won't be, and I don't have an issue. What's next? Will we think it's a scandal if a headline pops up saying an artist looked up images at home? My only issue is when AI slop replaces the final art that could have been done by an artist. This is not that. We have another one. Ooh. And a bunch of comments. This is a brain dead take. This is a brain dead take. Ooh, let's read the take. Why use it at all though? I really don't understand the idea of having a machine do human work function. Now I'm not talking about transportation replacing walking or utilities for that matter. Is saving that much time and not paying one more employee that much more profitable? You need something that isn't human, something that isn't alive to help you explore new ideas? That literally makes no sense. You can't have a real person flesh out PowerPoint ideas? Did you guys not go to school and learn how to properly use PowerPoint? Does no one know how to make presentations? AI isn't smarter than us. Let me read that again. AI isn't smarter than us. You all know that, right? There is no use for AI. Let's see some of the other comments. Technology grows as do us with it. If you look back far enough, people complained about the internet in a very similar way. Another simple example would be the calculator. People frowned on its usage initially as well. Your argument is just fulfilling that role of the old dog, and realistically, it will have no effect on the bigger picture. It will be easier to accept it exists and hope that people will use it responsibly. Hmm. Maybe because a machine does the job faster than you, and if it also does it better, then you weren't really needed. Ooh, that is a big line, no? Honestly, I think the way they use it as a tool is completely fine. The idea is that this is only for the concept art phase. Some people could say it's a slippery slope. If you allow it here, then you'll allow it there and there and there. But the idea is that there is a lot of time wasted if they create concept art which is never used. This way they can create the concept art in a few seconds, see how it looks like, and I mean, of course, the inspiration, see they can see how it looks like in a few seconds, and then based on that they can create their own thing. I think that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Let's read some more of the comments, because this is a very interesting topic. This is where AI is a good tool. Pre-production and placeholders. For pre-production, use it for establishing a general vibe, something that can be refined later. For example, hey concept artist, I have a project I'm making and it's someone with your skill set. This AI image of an Art Deco dragon spaceship is the general initial idea I have. Is this something in your wheelhouse? If not, do you happen to know a guy? For a placeholder example, we had the AI generate a handful of generic NPC responses so we can test various triggers in the game. It doesn't sound great and we'll need to hire some actual people later, but it works for the test. So, we are using reference photos. Got it. Pretty much that. As long as they are not overusing it. I am a game developer. Game developer here, guys. See, as a demo or presentation, using machine learning, that was ML. I'm a moron. Is completely fine as long as it doesn't intercept actual development or edit the project itself. Ooh, we have a comment disagreeing with the use of AI. Larian committing a word I cannot say on stream because I will be actually I'm not gonna say that. Right after revealing their new game is certainly a choice. Ooh, how many people agree with that? How many people agree with that statement? Based. Confirming that yeah, we are using this tool, but we will not be purchasing any final product with assets that are Gen AI. Ooh, now we have an imagination moment. Imagine you're in a meeting in a room with around 8 people in 9 specific office chairs, and there is the... Honestly, guys, I'm too lazy to read all of that. I definitely do not know if I agree with you. Honestly, fair enough. Better than just taking AI and acting like you made it. Something unrelated. Larian has earned enough goodwill with the community, they'll be alright. AI can be used for good. Amazing, amazing profile picture, by the way, with, of course, Vlad the Impaler. Who cares? Who cares? You would be surprised. That's my response to that. This person would actually be surprised to see how many people care about this on Twitter. Let me actually just go on Twitter. Sven Vinky. Okay, this is his post. Let's see some of the replies to the post. Display capture. Okay. Let me make this smaller. Let's look at quotes. Let me put that there. All right, there we have it. Some responses. We have Daniel Vavra, the director of KCD2, agreeing with his take, which I'm not gonna read his own take because it's kind of long. But let's see some of the people who disagree. We have an image which I'm not gonna try to decode. With the power of AI, we can completely destroy decades of audience trust in minutes. So there you have it, an image from someone who disagrees with the use of AI. Let me try to put that on the short. Aha. Worked. As you can see right here. Yeah, now it looks good. Okay, so as you can see, 54,000 upvotes on this post in reply to what Sven Vinky said about the use of AI in their games. With the power of AI, we can completely destroy decades of audience trust in minutes. And you can see a graph there. The use of AI. Do people agree with that? I wonder how many people agree with that. Because if we are basing the response on YouTube, then of course people agree with the use of AI in the way it was described by Sven. Let's go for some more of them. Ooh, we have a massive comment here. Okay, so that's a pretty big one. 15,000 upvotes, I think. Let's go through that. Okay, because you neither paid nor credited nor acknowledged the artists whose work you are now implicitly using. This is pretty simple. If you go out and buy a bunch of art books and you look through those to get ideas, The people who made the art books get the money one for one for every studio that ever buys those books. If you go to someone's portfolio page on the internet and get some ideas, you now know who that person is, and maybe you really like what they did. Maybe you might hire them to do concept art for your game someday. If you ask generative AI to generate ideas for you, you pay Google, OpenAI, Midjourney, and other ones, and that's it. The artists who made everything that goes into it get nothing. They do not get money. They do not get exposure. They do not even get the bare minimum acknowledgement from you that they even existed. I'm glad players are angry about generative AI. I hope they get even more angry. Artists that contribute art to a creative process deserve better treatment than this. If you like generative AI as a tool, advocate for it for a properly licensed, properly attributed version of it first. If instead you choose to use generative AI and ignore the ethical issues, you more than deserve the backlash. I mean, that is subjective on where you are looking, I guess, because here on YouTube, people don't care. People on YouTube don't care. And all of this, most of what you wrote here is hypothetical. Because I can look at someone else's art on the internet, I can use that to create my own art without ever giving them any credit. Isn't that sort of what AI is doing? Looking at the art of what someone else made, and then AI makes new art based on that? Most people are not going to give credit for finding inspiration in someone else's work. It doesn't happen. Let's look at one more of these and then we are done. That's a crazy one. Okay. Devs tried to put an anti-AI stance just to fold in favor of AI as soon as they saw a benefit for them. He says AI, it's the same as using Google or books, then why not just use that? What's the point of hiring artists if you're going to force them to use AI for art anyway? This is a waste of time in comparison to the use of AI. That's how I think they see it. The use of books. AI is going to mostly give you exactly what you ask for. For books and Google, you'll have to search a while, you know? Now it depends on which one you prefer. Spending, let's say, 10 minutes to find exactly what you want, or spending potentially a few seconds to get what you want with AI. I think that's how they see it. As much as I dislike what AI is doing to the gaming landscape as a whole, the insane replies going after the one dev who has been the most consumer first and honest is absolutely absurd. Yeah, people attacking others, that's kinda crazy. Ooh, we have another one which is very popular, as you can see, 17,000 upvotes. That's big. Let me make it a bit bigger in there. Right, now it's better. We only use the art stealing machine to help us get references. It's like using an art book. Then use a word I cannot say, art book. Ooh, use the art book. 17,000 upvotes. How many people agree with that? Now that's the question. So what if I create my own art book, but in order to create it, I look at what other people made, and then I create art based on that? Is that considered stealing? Maybe not. Imagine if Todd Howard appeared here one day and went, alright, listen up. Like this. Ooh, if Todd Howard did that, he would be crucified. That would be crazy. When you find out your goat washed, use AI tools to explore references. How the hell am I doing more thorough research for my whatever fan art than Larian is doing on the actual game? 15,000 votes. You see that? You see that research? How much time have you spent there? 10 hours? 50 hours? 100 hours? All of that can be reduced to a minimum of hours needed to find exactly what they are looking for. See? That time can be used somewhere else. That's how they are thinking. Another one which is popular. 8,000 votes. We've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests, but they can experiment with these tools to make their lives easier. Hate to break it to the internet, but I'm fairly certain that most, if not all, studios are doing this in some capacity. They are just not telling you. Larian is at least giving these tools to their devs as an aid, if needed, versus straight up replacing them, which I can guarantee all upcoming EA, Microsoft, Ubisoft, Activision will be replacing devs. Welcome to 2025. I don't think they are going to be... Maybe they are going to be replaced if they do not want to use AI. The thing is, I would much rather take someone who's an artist and knows art. I would much rather take them to use AI rather than someone who doesn't know anything about art, if it makes sense. So in that regard, I believe artists can switch over to using AI, if they want to. The idea is that AI is used in programming as well. It's used in many places when it comes to game development, so it's gonna be hard for sure. Okay, moving on. Ooh, holy word I cannot say. Guys, it's not a difficult concept to grasp. There can be no ethical usage of generative AI before the bubble burst and the technology is properly regulated. Maybe. Do you have any idea how pathetic it sounds that you're using generative AI for PowerPoints? Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, yeah, for sure. PowerPoints, I mean, who uses PowerPoints? I mean, generative AI for PowerPoint. Oh, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Who would do that? Who would do such a thing? Doubling down on it. Crying dog. Not the user, the you know what I mean. Ooh, another kind of popular post, 69,000 views. People know me as the Larian hype guy. I've never seen you before. In my circles. Ah, okay. And send me this, and it is the main reason I will not be looking forward to Divinity. It only takes this. You had a room to read, and instead, you closed your eyes. Most of the office is you forcing them to use Gen AI. Hell no. Ooh. They just lost the Larian hype guy. Actually, I cannot applaud that. That's a bad thing, I think. Alright. 10,000 votes. The thing that's so insidious about using AI this way is that one of the main ways artists get hired are studios looking for art references, and they find us and reach out. This is removing a major avenue to get work if they can just generate nameless deviations or derivations of our ideas. I think this is the best argument I have seen so far. This is actually the best argument I have seen so far. Instead of looking what other people make, you just have AI do it. Yeah, this is probably one of the best arguments. Ooh. With all due respect, never compare AI to art books ever again. There you have it, guys. There you have it. The definitive response to Sven Vincke and his reply to people and the backlash he received for his ideas about AI. Is that the definitive one, or are there better ones? 17. Oh, wow. 200,000 views. Everyone knows the best way to start your response to a PR crisis is holy word I cannot say, guys. Yeah. Okay, there are some crazy replies over here. I'm gonna read only this one and that's it. Laughing, Sven. What a word I cannot say, Gem. It's insane how one comment gets spun into an entirely different story. We use it for exploration, turns into the entire game is AI. Writers really wanted to make this as controversial as possible. It's controversial, that's for sure. Alright, so there you have it. That's what people are thinking on Twitter. As I said, very different than the responses in this comment section. I'm gonna read one last one. AI phobic people are the most toxic people in the world, just attacking anything and anyone who remotely use AI. Let's see the replies. You can't just add phobia to a word and throw in a bunch of people. That isn't how it works. That's exactly how it works. He isn't wrong though. To be fair, in this case, these people are irrationally fearful of AI. While I understand that, you don't get to just make up words. Ooh, we have a battle between, I'm not gonna say that. I hate AI and automation regardless of its usage. Why do you hate me? I cannot say that actually. I don't care if it's used as a tool. I watched this garbage be forced upon people and seen it take people's jobs. Is that true? The people with power in this world are using AI to avoid paying workers while driving up prices for RAM and polluting our environment with it. I do not care for the positives when the negatives outweigh considerably. I was about to say consistently. Considerably. Alright. Guys, honestly, what is the effect of AI on the environment? Does anyone know? Still, they could be using Google and art books instead of AI, not because it plagiarizes, but because it is so incredibly inefficient with water. Is that true? Ooh, a big one, which was somehow lost in the comment section. 45 upvotes, that's basically 45 million hidden upvotes. If you are using it for concept art, you are replacing people. Observes Jeff Talbot, senior concept artist at Remnant 2. If you're using it for writing, you're replacing people. If you're using it at all in the development process of the product, then it's in the final product. Just don't use it. Okay, so there you have it. Larian. Sale is coming. We've got a sale on Steam right now. Let me actually look at that. Should I look at that? There are some good sales from what I have seen. Yeah, pretty cool image with Gaben. Did you get Hogwarts Legacy for free on the Epic Games Store? No. I like buying games on Steam. My entire Epic Games library is just games they gave me for free. Mine too. I literally only have Epic just for the sole purpose of claiming free word I cannot say. I'd rather buy it on Steam sale than download Epic. Ooh. Yeah, that's kind of true. This is about Blizzard. The next year is gonna be the biggest year yet. We'll see if that happens. Are you going to buy something during the Steam Winter Sale? Some people are. Other people maybe. Other people no. Naughty Dog Studio are working mandatory overtime to finish a demo for their next video game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Staff were asked to work a minimum of 8 extra hours a week. The game is slated for release in mid-2027. More can be found in the article below. Bloomberg article by Jason Schreier. Right here. The Drunk Man is at it again. And no one is going to play it. Naughty Dog. Don't rush it, please, for the love of God, don't rush it. Sony needs to clean house at Naughty Dog. Get ready for leaks. Hope they take their time. Even if this game is ass, it's about to get some easy 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 for no reason. I've seen this kind of line of thinking with The Last of Us Part 2. Not to be that guy, because I do not advocate for crunch culture, but minimum of 8 extra hours a week really isn't much, especially if you enjoy your craft. In theory, that's like 2 hours of OT Monday through Thursday. And yeah, I know that's just minimum, but I know blue-collar workers who hate what they are doing. Being forced to do 12 to 16-hour shifts with occasional weekends. If you work at Naughty Dog, then I'd say it's safe to assume you are a game dev because that is what you love doing. In that case, an extra 8 hours ain't bad, especially because it's just extra money at the end of the day. Yeah, personally, I did work on a construction field at one point. From 7 p.m. through 6, from 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., 7 a.m. through 5 p.m., something like that. Kinda bad. But even if it's not physical work and labor, even from a mental perspective, it can be hard, you know? For example, we had in university days where we had classes from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., no? And those were extremely taxing. Extremely taxing. Not every day, so, but still extremely taxing. 9 to 9. Alright, so that was the last thing I posted. Yes. So there you have it. The conclusion is that I should start reading books because I mess up my speech a lot. That's a good conclusion, I would say. So yeah. The stream is going to continue. I'm gonna start a stream on TikTok as well, and I'm gonna play some games. That's basically what I'm gonna do. Again, I post a poll every single day. The poll for today is gonna come out later. Posts made in the post tab every day. If you have suggestions, I'm willing to listen. If you have complaints, I'm willing to listen, but I'm not gonna probably agree with you in the comment section. Either way, this was okay overall. Maybe I should speak slower. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop the streams on YouTube. The stream on Twitch is continuing, and I'm gonna start another one on TikTok. So thank you to whoever decided to check the stream, and I'll see you